I'm the Reverend Bonnie DeLotte, and I'm the Unitarian Universalist minister at the Napa Church. And I also work in this district, the Pacific Central District, as the trainer for the sexuality education program, Our Whole Lives. Our Whole Lives is a program that was co-created by the Unitarian Universalist Association and the United Church of Christ. And it's a 6-level program that we use in our congregations to teach our children about human sexuality. And why do we teach about sex in church? It's a question that parents ask us all the time. And I usually say back to them, what better place is there? Ideally you would teach about sexuality in the home, but many parents feel unprepared to do that. They don't have recent facts, they feel embarrassed, their children are not interested in talking to them about sex. And so we offer a program to partner with parents, and we clearly state to the parents what the values of the program are, and then we leave it up to parents to enroll their children or not in our program. Mostly we use no dumb questions when we are teaching facilitators of the kindergarten and first grade class and the 4th to 6th grade class. So we have weekend trainings when we train facilitators to teach Our Whole Lives in congregations. And we show it to them after we give a lecture on gender identity, gender role, and transgender identity, so that it becomes about real people and not about chromosomes and surgeries and hormones. Because I think that until people see a face and hear a story, it's all sort of abstract about somebody that they don't know and will never know. We were looking for stories that would help people understand transgender identity. And it was presented to us as a powerful teaching tool to show us how we could talk to younger children about transgender individuals, and that it was never too early to start educating about gender and gender identity and gender roles. Well, I have a transgender child in my congregation, a little girl who, when she first came to my congregation, was presenting as boy, but clearly uncomfortable with that. And so we're talking about a 6 or 7-year-old. So the children in this class, we needed to talk immediately about it. And I don't think that it's ever too early to say that how we are on the outside might not be how we are on the inside, and that we value all people on the inside, regardless of how they look on the outside or regardless of how they might change on the outside. It was harder, and only because of their own discomfort. I encourage them to educate themselves as much as possible about transgender issues, understanding that I think that when you find it's hard to talk to a child about something, it's because you aren't really comfortable yourself with it. I found that some individuals thought it was not appropriate for this child to show up in the gender that they weren't originally presenting as. But when I question people and just gently ask questions about why that was, usually that would fall away. I know it played a role for me. I think that when I first started doing sexuality education, I really thought I was the most liberal, open-minded person possible, and I quickly ran up against things that made me uncomfortable. And when they did make me uncomfortable, I had to go back and really search my soul, and it was the stories that changed my mind about that. It is about being brave enough to expose who you really are inside. And many of us have the luxury of matching inside and outside, so we can pass, we can get away with it. And a transgender person has to, it's much more risky. They have to really say, this is me, and they're just split wide open by that. But all of us have those issues inside that we're afraid to show. And I mean, if we had to walk around showing exactly who we were inside, how terrifying would that be? Well, I think in the first film, we saw the reaction of the girls. I remember the youngest one is so open, and it's so much easier for for her to process and to accept that this is just who Barbara is now. And I wondered if after 10 years, how they would reflect back on that experience of hearing it. The oldest one seemed to struggle a little more, and so I'd just be interested in hearing how the experience was back then and what they struggled with then. I think the most powerful thing about the film is that it tells the story, but it tells multiple stories. It tells the story of the brother, it tells the story of Barbara, but it tells the story of the children too in their journey. And I just feel like the stories are the most important tool we have in educating people. It's easy to dismiss the idea of a person that we haven't met. It's easy to feel alienated by that. It's because we don't know anybody like that. But once you know someone and have met them, it's a lot harder to just dismiss them out of hand. So, story. Listen to stories. Learn everything you can about people.